Back on the right stand, ladies and gentlemen, with this very simple question. Have we taken the right stand as human beings with nature? Are we responsible for the devastation that was witnessed in the hilly regions this time around in the monsoon season? Yes, the rains have been unprecedented, but something else is happening there because of which 100-year-old buildings, trees, plantations, hills that have weathered so many storms are crumbling, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this footage. Are these houses, were these structures there 30 years ago? Has the soil, topsoil, become so weak that it's not able to hold on? Is there so much of water that is falling that is actually taking the soil beneath these strong buildings and foundations so much away that they just fall? Because no matter how strong your upper torso is, if your legs are weak and your legs are swept away, you will fall. That is science, ladies and gentlemen. And these are flash floods in Mandi. Have a look at this. Sudden torrent, cloudburst, and look at the amount of residue, silt that's being carried away. And it's just muddy waters, huge amounts of silt in these waters, which are also causing huge amounts of trouble for the locals there. Many have been evacuated. For many, their homes have been destroyed. Let's have a look at some of the reasons why Himachal Pradesh is prone to these landslides. First, it's geologically young. It's unstable and slopes within the Himalayan range. These are unstable slopes, perhaps one of the most. There also, environment is being threatened by escalating human activity and resource exploitation. There is brazen flouting of norms and rules, and in the garb of trying to attract more tourists, the kind of infrastructure that's being built is against the very grain of what should happen there. High intensity rainfall combined with a cutting of hill slopes. Developmental work, connectivity is happening, construction, road widening is happening, slope cutting for construction, road widening, tunnels and mining. Has enough consideration been taken? Natural soil erosion also due to vegetation removal. When you take away the big strong trees with the deep roots which can hold it back, hold the soil back, then you have these issues. But this time around we've seen those big trees also fall down. 100-year-old trees have crumbled and just been submitted to the torrential rain and of course the overflowing rivers. Let's delve into the number of landslides. In 2020, the number of landslides in Himachal was 16. In 2021, it went up to 100. And this year already, it's gone, in 2022, it's 117. And this year, the final numbers are only going to rise. Nearly 857 roads stand blocked all across Himachal, ladies and gentlemen. 11 of the 12 districts are seeing high alerts for heavy rains in the next 4 days. And those 11 of the 12 districts, they have all seen this kind of landslides and devastation. Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist, is joining us at this point. Vimlendu, it's a serious problem. Now, can it be blame it only on one factor? Is it brazen construction? Is it brazen deforestation? Or is it that nature has decided to take back what humanity has taken over the last 3 decades?
No doubt, Anand, that we are all saying that the river came to our home. No, we came in the way of the river, and river has only taken over its own path. That's point number one. Point number two is that indeed it's many of these factors. Indeed, there's unprecedented rain, but we knew about it. Every IPCC report has been talking about erratic climate events, that we will actually have flash floods, we will actually have drought, and we'll have heat waves and so on and so forth. And therefore and India as a country and these states being signatories to such scientific studies, what is our preparation? The other is that it would be slightly unfair to really call it human-induced or man-made disaster, because if you look at all the disaster that has taken place in and around government-sponsored projects or private partnership with the government projects. So if you look at the kind of construction that has happened in terms of hydroelectric power plants, imagine we want to make our Shimla to Manali or for that matter Chandigarh to Manali or Chandigarh to Shimla journey swifter and more tourism. We've constructed 4-lane highways completely without any geological and engineering assessment. Rapid and unscientific construction that has taken place. Those all-weather roads is apart. So we're looking at the number of highways that were just constructed, all of them have given way. So clearly this is bad construction in terms of hydroelectric power plants, bad road construction, focusing on better tourism, and also the kind of agriculture. Instead of cereal growing, Himachal Pradesh is actually...
But Vimlendu, let me ask you this. You're saying it's bad construction, but the construction at the top of it or the first 20 feet is solid. What's happened is that these roads have crumbled because the wind beneath their feet has gone away, or the ground beneath this 20 feet has gone away. So now, and that's what we are seeing. Even in that Shiv Mandir, railway tracks are still hanging. Constructions are still hanging, but if my foundation is wiped out, so you may be strong and you may have great strength in your arms, but if I swipe you down your legs and you fall down, that's what happens. This is exactly what we are seeing. Now, this erosion at the bottom, why is that happening?
So Anand, two things. One is that you might actually use the best quality of loha and cement, but if your foundation is weak, where you're constructing is absolutely important. So geological study of where are you constructing and what are you constructing is very, very important. Most of the roads and structures and these hydroelectric power plants are actually constructed around the waterways, and water has to be taken its path. That's point number one. Point number two is that, in all of this, when you look at devastation that has taken place, for example, in Mandi, the dumping of construction debris or excavation work that has happened in a way where it's completely non-scientific, and that's what you see. You see sludge. You see sludge everywhere, and we all knew that one day it would rain a lot, and therefore the prediction of climate vulnerability, that studies available to us. How are we preparing ourselves? How are we constructing? So the construction of a highway in Gurgaon or in Delhi has to be different from the construction.
Yeah, but it's not just roads and construction. There has also been rampant construction by the locals who have said, okay, let's try and build multi-story houses and then put it out on Airbnb and it's or put it out on let, and let's make money because of the influx of tourists. There is no control over that. Not more than 10,000 people in a particular region, etc. All those issues are also there that we have to consider. I've run out of time, but we'll have a longer discussion on this, Vimlendu Jha. Thank you very, very much. It's something for all of us to consider, and perhaps time that we take the right stand with respect to our, environment, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, it's time to wind up this edition, and it's over to Zaka for Brass Tacks.